The industry doesn't just need more welders, it needs more truth tellers. I seen a video today and I was listening to it on TikTok, and this welding school out of Kentucky, they was having a podcast section and they was talking about the need of welders. And right now we know that they need about over 300,000 within the next 5 years, fam. Like the need, and it's steady going up. And they was talking about something that everyone knows when it comes to the numbers, the industry, as far as the construction and the manufacturing. But when it comes to the students, they also know, and they like, where's this big need? But where's the money at, fam? Where is the money? We see the need, but where's the money at? And that's one thing that we don't see, fam. And so the students get discouraged because the money stays the same. But the industry say we got a high demand. Something is going on in the middle, fam. And so it struck a conversation because one thing that I have just noticed, and we're just gonna be real, fam. This generation is willing to learn, but the older generation that's holding the information want to make them jump through all these type of hoops, or they feel like they don't deserve it, or they just don't want to pass it down to them, fam. And so this generation just don't want to kiss nobody ass for their information. They're willing to go do different things to get the income. So say, if all I'm doing is making money, then it's the goal to make money. Why would I work for you and get oppressed? So I think the industry needs to have a new conversation on how they treat people, because they don't want to get the backlash, but then they have poor operations within inside the companies that make people leave, and then they write statements and they go on Google and they go on blast and rants and all type of stuff, and they wonder why they get this type of things, because they have foremans and people in lead roles who don't know how to lead people, who are not mentors, fam. And I have seen it in many companies, fam, especially in Arkansas. And throughout the country I have traveled. I've seen it a lot in Phoenix, Arizona as well, because I lived out there. I've seen it in Colorado, you know what I'm saying? I've seen it when I was in North Carolina doing some work. Like sometimes, and even Georgia, like sometimes the older generation be a little bitter. You know, and it comes from various reasons. You know, maybe they had to work a little harder. Someone made them get through these loops. They feel like they didn't want to pass it down, you know what I mean? So, or their kids might didn't want it, or they ain't got none. So everybody have a different heart, you know? So I think you have to have someone who is genuine about really helping people. You have to be genuine about helping people. And that's what I introduced in my program, the FWP, the Fabrication Welding Program. The whole goal is you have to be genuine and you have to implement love. If the students in this generation feel that you're not trying to give them love while you're trying to teach them, they're going to reject it, fam. They're going to reject it, and they're going to go find other ways to make income. Now, and you can't be stingy with the bag. If you know you're making good money, make sure that the employees make the same. And we're seeing this now in the country, because now they're changing the pay rates and they're hiring up the minimum wage scale. So it's forcing companies to pay more. So if you want more, you have to compensate. So this is a conversation for not only just the industry and the students. I think both need to sit down, because it's young. You know, if they want to be paid for their work ethics and they're tired of getting stepped on, and if they're putting in a request and they telling you that these certain people are stepping on them and you allowing them in operations, whose fault is this? You want someone to oppress the people. You want people to come to the job, but then you hire people, or you put people in forming positions because they've been there for 10, 20 years and they've been going through all your drama. So you let's allow them to do whatever they want to do. And then you always looking for someone. But then you will say, oh, they just don't want to work. It's more than that. You know, I heard someone say, man, they just don't want to work. No, they tired of getting oppressed. They tired of getting disrespected. They tired of knowing that you ain't, you know, you want to treat them like a robot. Well, go put a robot in. That's what they saying. I'm gonna find something else to do. You know what I mean? So I think if we want to make it more attractive for the younger generation to get into the trades, we have to be real with them. We have to allow them to scale and show them realistically what they can do. Stop trying to hide our hand with the truth, fam. They need to know. And that's what they come to me for. They come to me for to know, hey man, should I go to this job? Should I take the union? Should I go to school? Should I go to college? You know what I mean? Should I take this private program? Should I get an apprenticeship? Like, they come to me for them questions that no one want to answer. And a lot of times no one want to tell the truth. So I tell them the truth, fam, because I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been a worker I've been an owner, and I'm an owner now. You know what I mean? And I'm only trying to scale. So I can only tell them realistically, and especially for those who have had backgrounds, felons, rough coming up, you have to think a little different. And if you don't have a background, great, because you have more opportunities without having to have certain restrictions with as far as what you can pay or where you can travel to get the money. So the conversation needs to be held now that students love the trade, like they love being physical, but they want to be compensated as well. So let's tell them the truth. Let's be real. Let's tell them what they're going to be expecting, and let's be realistic as far as what we expect from them as well. And then I think we need to have a conversation with some of these older people we have in these positions. It's time for them to move on. It's just like the Old Testament say, when Moses came down, he had to tell the people they couldn't cross over with that same information that they had because it was going to damage this new generation. So we have to cross over with new generation, fam, with new information, fam. So I think that this younger generation is eager, they want to learn, but they want to learn from someone that cares about them, that really want to see them grow, that just don't look at them just like a number, and that's why I like to teach the way I do. And with this approach, it's showing love. We're implementing love, fam. They did a study with some orphan kids. And we're going to say they had in one room these babies, fam. They fed them, they played with them, they kissed on them. They did all the things that mothers and parents do to the babies when they little. Well, in this other room, they didn't do that. They just gave them their necessities, what they needed to survive, cleaned them up, kept them good. Now, these babies wasn't born with Down syndrome, but they end up developing it. They end up developing educational issues and other problems because they just gave them their necessities, forced them in the system, and they wanted them to produce, and they were slow and they didn't get the product. You see what I'm saying? Because there wasn't no love in it. On this side, they showed love and they got more educated. They was more agile. They was more interactive with the other kids. They were smarter. They developed faster. These are facts, fam. So if we know that we got these type of studies, why don't we implement them in the new education, fam? We're trying to patch in a broken pipeline, a broken system that does not work. We got to do something different. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm not interested in patching no old pipeline. My whole goal is to create something new. And that's why I started the FWP program, and we intertwined it into the Meta 24 program here at Arkansas Baptist College. We got to do something new, fam. We got to save the youth. And the only way to do that, to get them motivated to get in the trades, to learn something different, we got to hold a different conversation, and we got to tell them the truth. We got to stop lying to them, fam. They're not going to respect it. We got to swear to our own hurt and change, not as the scriptures say. We got to be real with them. And if we be real with them, we be transparent with them, we show them cause and effect, fam, they go get it. Then that way they can make a true decision. And if they don't decide to do something, they know it was on them. And if they do, they know what it takes. Those who want to be great in Jordan and Kobe and LeBron, they know they got to stay in the gym later. They know they got to work out when everybody else go home. They know they got to put the work in. They know if they come to the gym and they do 10 and the other person do 50, they know that person gonna look better than them. It's not rocket scientists. Just give them the information and allow them to make the right, proper decisions. And I think that we would lower the rate as far as how many welders we need. We'll have people diving into the industries of all trades, because we need all trades, fam. All trades. And that's my goal, is to teach more than just welding education, more than just running the bead. We need real life skills. We need real life principles. We need to show them how to learn financial literacy so they can create some cushion for themselves and not just depend on the job, and not just to spend everything they got, because we're going to do that too. That's part of it, but we need to learn. And a lot of us coming from rural areas, if we black, brown, or white, we don't know financial literacy. We just know get some money, go buy something. We don't realize as soon as we wake up, they're trying to sell us something every day. Every day. As soon as you open your phone, you walk out your house, you cut on the radio, someone is trying to sell you something, because this is a business country. And so we have to have a business as well. And so we have to implement it to them and let them know to think like that. It's okay to have a steady job and have a business if the job is good to you. We're just gonna hold real conversations, and that's what they need to have, and that's why my channel is important, and that's why I think you should like, subscribe, and follow me on all of my platforms, especially YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Be blessed, continue to prosper. I'm out. Hold on.